From the moment we can really start to think, we're all on this lifelong quest to answer one huge question. Who am I? It's just a natural part of being human, this search for ourselves. But let's be honest, in today's world, the map for that journey has gotten, incredibly complicated.
But here's the thing, and it's so important to get this. We don't figure this stuff out in a vacuum. We're social animals, right? We're fundamentally wired for connection. Our whole sense of who we are is shaped by the people around us. It's like a constant conversation between what's going on inside our heads and everything that's happening in the outside world.
There's actually a classic term for this in social psychology, and it's perfect. The looking glass self. Just think about it like this. Everyone we interact with acts like a mirror. We see ourselves reflected in how they react to us, in their words, in their opinions. And that reflection, it becomes a massive piece of how we build our own self-image. It's a powerful thing, and a totally normal human instinct.
But what happens when that mirror becomes distorted? For generations, our looking glass was our family, our close friends, our neighborhood, a pretty small circle. But today, especially for young people, that mirror is the entire digital world. And it's a place where reflections are filtered, they're amplified, and a lot of the time, they are seriously warped.
And this gets us right to the heart of the problem for so many teens. The equation in their head becomes dangerously simple. The number of likes I get, plus the number of followers I have, equals my value as a person. That external validation becomes everything. And let me tell you, that is an incredibly fragile foundation to build your identity on.
This sets up some really specific traps. First, there's that over-reliance on digital numbers we just talked about. Then, you've got the constant comparison trap, just endlessly scrolling, always wondering, am I as good as them, as pretty, as successful? It can also lead to this huge role confusion, where you're trying to be the person your parents want, the person your friends want, and maybe you lose track of the person you want to be. And the last one is a biggie, internalizing negative labels, letting one mean comment become your whole story.
And the stakes here are so high. We're not just talking about having a bad day. When your identity is that fragile, when it depends entirely on this distorted digital mirror, it can lead to some really serious psychological risks. We're talking major anxiety, depression, a fear of failure that just stops you from growing, and in the worst cases, a full-on identity crisis where a teen just feels completely and utterly lost.
So, what do? How do we fix this? Well, the answer isn't just to tell kids, hey, just believe in yourself. That can actually backfire and lead to a kind of fragile, inflated ego. The real solution is about cultivating a deep, authentic inner strength, building a foundation inside that can actually handle all the pressure from the outside world. This table really lays out the difference between healthy self-esteem and what we're calling blind self-belief. So on one side, you have accepting the real self. That's all about knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and being okay with both. This is where real resilience comes from. On the other side, blind self-belief is about puffing up your strengths and pretending the weaknesses don't exist. It creates this fragile identity that needs constant praise and just shatters under pressure. We are absolutely aiming for the first one. And you can see this play out so clearly online. Okay, say you post something and it gets very few likes. Someone with high self-esteem might just think, guess that topic wasn't for everyone. But for someone with low self-esteem, it's a gut punch. Nobody likes me. Or a negative comment. For one person, it's a chance to learn something or just ignore it. For the other, it's proof. I am a total failure. It all comes down to whether your sense of worth is coming from the inside or the outside. All right, so what are the practical steps, especially for parents and teachers? First, affirm the effort, not just the final result. Praise the hard work. Second, give feedback that's actually constructive and specific. Instead of that's wrong, maybe try, that's a good start, but what if we looked at it this way? Third, create a safe support system where a teen knows they are valued even if they mess up. And finally, and this one is huge, cultivate a growth mindset. This core belief that challenges our chances to get better, not just tests of how smart you are. Now, all those psychological strategies are vital. They're the toolkit. But to build something truly unshakable, we have to go even deeper. We need more than just techniques. We need a philosophical anchor. We need to help young people find a sense of meaning in their lives that has nothing to do with success or failure or likes or follows. Let's take existentialism, for instance. Sounds heavy, I know, but the core idea is simple. Your value isn't set in stone. You are not defined by what other people say about you. Instead, you are what you create. I mean, how empowering is that for a teenager? It tells them that their purpose is something they build themselves, through their own choices and actions. It's the perfect antidote to letting likes and comments define you.
Or how about the ancient wisdom of Stoicism? It gives us this incredibly practical tool for mental toughness. Focus on what you can control. You can't control the algorithm. You can't control what other people post or how they're going to react. But you know what you can control? Your own actions, your own effort, your own response. It pulls your focus away from all that external chaos and back to your own internal strength.
And finally, from the psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl, we get this idea called logotherapy. He believed our main drive in life isn't chasing pleasure, but searching for what we personally find meaningful. And his most powerful idea? That we can find purpose and meaning even in hardship, even in suffering. And that belief, that can carry a person through pretty much any crisis, digital or otherwise.
So, after all that, the psychology, the philosophy, what's the common thread here? Where does it all lead? Well, it all comes back to one simple but incredibly hard idea: acceptance.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of it. Strong, resilient self-esteem isn't walking around thinking you're perfect. It's not pretending you don't have flaws. It's the deep, quiet, solid knowledge that you have value even when you're not perfect. It's about accepting your whole self, the good, the bad, and the parts that are still a work in progress.
So that leaves us with one last question. And it's not for me to answer, it's for you. Whether you're a teen listening to this, a parent, a teacher, the whole journey starts right here. I want you to forget that distorted digital mirror for just a minute and ask yourself, today, right now, how will you accept your real, imperfect, and valuable self?